Now, Angel Reese just dropped some major news about her and other WNBA players possibly sitting out if they do
Angel
not
Reese
get their
threatens
just
WNBA
due.
lockout.
Now,
Is she out of
basically a
line
lockout.
or onto something big? Big news just dropped from Angel Reese, and it's causing a serious stir in the basketball world. Reese, who has already made a name for herself with her fiery plays on the court, is now taking her talents to the negotiation table, and she's not messing around. It all started when she aired her grievances about the WNBA's pay on her podcast. Angel's bold claim? If the league doesn't give players what they deserve, a lockout might be on the horizon. That's right. She's threatened
Dejanay Carrington on her podcast. Well, some things are coming out in regards to
if the WNBA doesn't meet her demands. Imagine storming into your boss's office, slamming your hand on the table and saying, "Pay me what I'm worth," or "I'm out." Well, that's essentially what Angel just did. Is she making a power move, or is she biting off more than she can chew? Let's dive into the drama and see if Angel's got a point, or if she's just causing chaos. On her podcast,
we are going to walk away. If we don't get what we want, we are going to walk away. That's what Angel Reese is saying. That's what she's hearing. So instead of me trying to make it up, let's listen to the source herself.
Yeah, the CBA is coming up. I can't wait.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL.
What does that mean? We deserve more. Everybody.
I agree.
Everybody.
I agree with that.
But we got to get paid for consequences.
Before we even get there, I will say this. Caitlin Clark deserves the most. Angel Reese deserves the second most. And then the rest of y'all can have the rest. But
back, sharing that the WNBA's pay structure needs a major overhaul. She said, "The CBA is coming up. We deserve more. You know, NIL has changed everything for younger players, and we've seen how the game has evolved." Angel, along with DJ Carrington, who has her own flair for sideline commentary, made it clear that they want to be compensated more fairly for their skills and influence. But what's the issue? Well, the WNBA, like many other...
You know, that my paycheck elevated. So...
Yeah, we seen that. I seen them zeros.
Stop it.
It's crazy you could look up people's salary.
I know. Y'all know.
I'm pocket watching because when it's my...
Revenue, sponsorships, and demand are what ultimately determine salaries. It's not about fairness or simply existing as talented athletes. It's about whether the league can generate the money to support those higher paychecks. Angel Reese seems to be suggesting that just by being talented and raising her profile, she deserves a much bigger paycheck. And while that may be true for some superstars in the NBA, the WNBA isn't quite there yet. The league is still growing and fighting for broader recognition, and the revenue just isn't at the level where players can start making demands like they're the LeBron James of the women's game.
Can we just talk about how crazy this is? She just threatened the lockout. She's not even on the WNBPA board and she just threatened the lockout. Like, what is going on? What is going on? And like, in Angel Reese's defense, pretty damn good game on Unrivaled today. She seems to have Fee Collier's number, in fairness. Bit turnover prone, a lot turnover prone, but in fairness, good game, some good finishes. But
reminded Reese that salaries aren't determined by hype or social media posts. They're determined by cold, hard financial reality. The WNBA, despite its increasing popularity, still operates at a loss, and not every player can demand top-tier pay. Reese, for all her talent, isn't quite there yet in terms of performance or league impact. Let's be real, her numbers, while solid, are still very much in the up-and-coming range. And yet, here she is, already acting like she's carrying the league on her shoulders, demanding the kind of money that comes with multiple championships and MVPs. She's even openly talking about a lockout, a move that could leave the league in a chaotic standstill. But would other WNBA players follow suit? Would enough of them stand in solidarity to truly push for a lockout? Some believe the collective power of the players could make a difference, but others think the threat is more symbolic than anything else. The reality is that a lockout is a huge gamble, and not all players may be willing to risk the stability of the league just for a bigger paycheck. So, what do you think? Is Angel Reese setting the stage for a real shift in how women's sports are valued, or is she simply out of her depth here? Will the WNBA players actually stand together for higher pay, or is this just a moment of drama that will blow over once the dust settles? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Reese's bold demands. Is she ready to walk or just talking? Angel Reese is making waves again, but this time it's not on the basketball court. The WNBA star is back in the headlines.
Really stand on a wall? Would they really stand on a wall? I don't believe they would. I don't believe that there are enough players that would stand on a wall and say, I want more money. Well, let me rephrase that. They would say they want more money, but would they stand on a wall and risk a lockout to get that?
Of course, not just a little bump either, a serious one. And if the league doesn't give it to her, well, she's prepared to walk out. Yup, that's right. Angel Reese, fresh off a stellar collegiate career, is threatening a lockout, and honestly, it's giving delusional diva. Here's the twist. She's not even on the WNBA Players Association board. Reese, who's still barely out of her rookie season, is acting like she's the LeBron of the WNBA, demanding a superstar paycheck. It's almost as if she's forgotten that performance is what determines a player's worth, not Instagram followers or podcast sponsorships. On her podcast, Angel doubled down, saying, I know my worth. Well, great. Knowing your worth is fantastic. But worth in sports typically gets measured by performance, not just how many followers you have or how many highlight reels you've been in. It's about making your shots count, not just your posts. Meanwhile, DJ Carrington, who was sitting across from Angel, seemed to think she was joining some kind of revolutionary movement by backing up this notion. But here's the thing. They're missing the mark. It's the same old story, demanding more money, but skipping the crucial part of actually earning it. Angel Reese is playing the victim card. I deserve more. But the truth is, she hasn't even finished a full pro season yet. It's giving delusion more than revolutionary. Look, if talking could pay the bills, Angel would be a millionaire by now, but the reality is, the WNBA values talent, teamwork, and oh yeah, winning. If you want a pay raise, it's going to take more than just being a big name on social media. I get it. Athletes deserve better pay, but pay raises usually follow performance. And right now, Angel's shooting percentages are more like Wi-Fi signals in a remote area, spotty at best. Let's just say she's not exactly hitting all the marks, and yet here she is, demanding top-tier money. It doesn't quite add up. And then there's DJ Carrington, playing the role of hype woman, nodding along like she's discovered the secret to athlete compensation. Girl, this isn't the battle you think it is. The WNBA players do deserve better pay and working conditions, but let's not act like Angel Reese is carrying the league. She's not filling up arenas with her performance just yet. In fact, just a few months ago, Angel was joking about not needing a WNBA paycheck.
Really, I'm trying to think of like my rent for where I stay at. I'm gonna do the math real quick.
It might cover that. Yeah, it covers that. It definitely covers that.
What is my, I don't even know my salary. 74? Okay. Times.
Here, I'll do it.
Yeah. I don't even know my salary. Does it? Let me see. You don't even
paid. But now, suddenly, those checks aren't looking so good. The math isn't matching. Here's the bottom line. Angel Reese may be a talented player, but she needs to prove more on the court before she can start making these big demands. Players don't get pay raises based on potential or followers. They get them by delivering consistent performances. Until then, maybe Angel should focus on hitting shots instead of hitting up sponsors for podcast deals. So go ahead, Angel. Take a stand. Walk out if you must. Just know that the WNBA won't collapse without you, and your revolution might end up being more about social media clout than actual game-changing moves. As for DJ Carrington, keep hyping up that nonsense. At this rate, you're providing entertainment, but not the kind anyone actually asked for. Reese's pay raise demands. Is she really the face of women's basketball? Angel Reese is at it again, but this time, she's not making headlines for her basketball moves. No, this time, she's out here making waves with a bold demand. Pay me more, or I'll walk. That's right, Reese is threatening to sit out if she doesn't get the bag she feels she deserves. And the kicker? She's only just starting her pro career. Yeah, you heard that right. She's barely out of her rookie season.
I thought this was Legion Hops or Lurgin Hoops. I thought this was gonna be a Centel. But no. This is why sometimes you probably should have somebody look over a podcast. And